In this video, I'll show you how to solve the equation 4x cubed equals 6x minus 2x squared. The first thing I want you to notice is that the degree of this equation is 3. The degree is equal to the highest exponent that you see, and that happens to be 3. That means I'm looking for 3 solutions. Now, to solve a polynomial equation, since there are 3 solutions, we're going to have to use factoring, and the first step is to get it set equal to 0 and make sure that you've done that by putting it in standard form. And in standard form, all of the terms will be on one side and the exponents will descend or go down in order. So the exponent with the highest degree is 4x cubed, and then minus 2x squared becomes plus 2x squared, 6x becomes minus 6x, and now it's equal to 0 and it's in standard form. The second step for solving a polynomial equation like this is to factor it completely. And anytime you factor, you follow your flow chart that says check for a GCF. The first thing we always do. So I notice that these have a factor of 2x in common. So when I pull out the 2x, I'm left with 2x squared plus x minus 3. Now I don't want to forget this 2x. I'm going to bring it down into my final factored form, and I'll use it as one of the factors that will help me to find one of these 3 solutions. But right now I need to go over, I skipped 4-term factoring because this polynomial that I now have to factor is a trinomial. It has 3 terms, so I'm going to have to factor using the AC method. So A times C is going to be 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6, and I'm looking for the factors of negative 6 that add up to 1, because there's a 1 in front of this x term. So let's see, 1 times negative 6, that's going to add to negative 5. 2 times negative 3, that adds to negative 1. Negative 3 times 2, whoops, sorry about that. 3 times negative 2 will give me negative 6, and that also gives me the term 1 when I add them. And so these are the 2 factors that I need. I need 3 and negative 2. So I'm going to break this down as 2x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 3. Now I'm going to group the first 2, bring down my sign, and group the last 2. The first 2 have an x in common. That's going to give me a 2x plus 3. My minus sign's going to come down, and since there's no common factor here, I have to factor out a 1, but technically it's a minus 1 since the middle sign was a negative, so I've got to change the sign in here to 2x plus 3, and you'll notice that the binomials match. So I bring it over, 2x plus 3, and what's left over is x minus 1. So now that I have my equation in factored form, the third thing I do is I set each factor equal to 0. So in this case, it's going to be 2x equals 0, 2x plus 3 equals 0, and x minus 1 equals 0. So by solving each of these equations, using the steps for solving equations, I get three answers. X is 0, X is -3/2, and X is 1. Now I do need, and by the way, that was step 4. Now step 5, my very last step, is to write the solution set. So I'm going to write step 5 up here at the top. In my solution set, I'll collect all the solutions I found. 0, -3/2, and 1. And if I check these in the original equation, they must make it true, and unless I've made a mistake, they will in fact do that. So be sure you pay attention to the number of solutions so that the number of solutions in your solution set is correct.